Okay, let's pretend this is like an M9 Doppler and he wants to sell that. We just see what happens. So I accept the trade. Normally I would now pay him, but I can't. If you click that, this was refund all trades from the last 7 days.
I will click it and I hope there is a confirmation or something. Steam support my items restored without authorization.
You can just refund all trades? If you proceed, all trades listed above will reverse and the items will be refunded. This is so fucking stupid. Oh, I cannot open the case I received. I can just preview it. This has to be the worst update ever. But did it kill trading? Let's talk about it. First, what actually happened? Tonight, Steam rolled out an update that introduced the trade protection. Through leaks, it was already known that this was in the making, but people expected a good use for it. Like, for example, an extra protection for the items you never planned on trading. But in the classic Steam way, they had a good intention, but the worst execution you can fucking imagine. Like, who the hell thought this is a good idea? Like, huh? Any trades you will do now will be trade protected. Sounds pretty fancy and cool, it isn't. Which means you can reverse any trades you did for the last 7 days in one bulk. You cannot just revert the scam, for example, you have to revert everything. And you will get a 30-day trade cooldown. For 1 millisecond, this may be sounding like a good idea against scamming, yes? After that, just imagine this. You buy an Op Dragon Lore for 11,000 euros from some guy or some trading site. 3 days later, your P250 Sandone gets scammed and you want to take that back, you have to refund the Dragon Lore. Or if you buy 2 items, one gets scammed, you have to decide either I send back everything and lose in this process, or I just leave it to the scammer. Like, if I lose a 300 euro item, but I bought a $10,000 Dragon Lore, it's better for me to keep the scam, because the scam is only 300 bucks and the sale is 10,000. Like, who the hell thought this is a good idea? Whew, I am in peace with myself. How will this affect trading, gambling, scamming, markets and more? Let's start with item for item trading. Will be comparable unaffected because your trade hold is now just to trade protection for one little risky addition. Let's say you make a fair 0% profit trade. Yeah, as if those exist, lol. You trade your M4A4 for an M4A1S. 3 days later, Valve buffs the M4A4, making all the skins go up in the process and the others go down. The guy you traded with could just now revert the trade to cash in on that profit. How is gambling affected? Because this was most likely also aimed at gambling. Interesting is that this is kind of the first update that also nerfs Steam own case openings. Because if you got a case in a trade now, you can only preview it. You cannot immediately open it. This is very interesting. Normally Steam does everything, but not fucking over themselves. External gambling sites will be affected by this. Because gambling sites now too would need to hold the funds for 7 days before releasing it. People can gamble away their lives. And as gambling lives off impulsive decisions, this is big. This is good. But it will not work. If you have some gambling addicted dude, they will just move to crypto or anything else. And you can get crypto via selling CS2 skins. So little kids can just now get Steam balance, sell them for crypto and gamble with that. And with CS2 skins at least, it was limited to your inventory. With crypto and everything else, people can now gamble away their life savings. Good job, Valve. So it will affect gambling, yes. For cash outs from these sites, they can still be done peer-to-peer or bot-based, so they can be kinda instantly. Marketplaces and what I do, cash trading, will most likely work the same as always, but we will have to hold back the funds for 7 days. So yes, you can still contact me and I will buy your skins, but I just cannot pay you instantly, only after the trade protection is over. Because you could just revert the trade to have both money and items, which also increases the risk for any legit trader, because if the price goes down, you still have to pay the higher price. But if the price goes up, there's a good chance that the seller just cancels the trade. Buff and Upin have already added those features and are operating already like usual. European even banned and is threatening legal action against people that exploited this feature in the meantime. So good job, Valve! Thanks to you, most markets most likely were just scammed for thousands, even millions of dollars until they realized there's this big new update. And other marketplaces like Skinport, CSFloat will just adapt too. So yeah, it will just now take 7 days longer. Little addition, while editing this video, some guy offered me 7,000 cases to buy. I can't buy those anymore, because normally you would trade these cases, I put them into storage units. My Steam inventory is limited to 1,000 items if I cannot put those into storage units. But now these items are not visible for storage units, because you could just hide them in there. So case trading is most likely dead with this update. You now need multiple accounts to store that many cases. What will happen to bot trading sites like SkinsMonkey? Most likely the same. iTrade, for example, already announced that they will have their site back up and running in 2 to 4 days. And this will most likely work the same as with marketplaces. You can just trade, and after 7 days you will get any funds that you will have gotten anyways. They will just now do an escort whenever you trade items to them. If you only get items from them, it's most likely instant, because they will not cancel their own trades. Now, the big category. This update was most likely primarily aimed at scammers. Will just adapt. Like, it is even buffing scamming. After the trade protection, scammers can now instantly sell their scammed items. Yes, these still take 7 days, but are now way more likely to be banned within that time, because when you now get scammed by impersonation, hacking, or any new method, they will most likely come up with new methods now. Steam support will just tell you, ha, now we can't do anything, you could have just cancelled the trade, haha. Yes, this update will be good against things like API scams, but scammers will just use a different method then. It's like, what the fuck? This is the worst way to fight these. Scammers will just impersonate, for example, because now it is legit to say, I pay you in 7 days. This really reminds me of the introduction of the 7-day trade hold. Instead of actually fighting scammers, refunding items that were obviously scammed, or just taking down gambling sites with 2 clicks, Steam just fucks everybody. It feels like Valve wants to do anything but actually fighting scams. Just put 100 people to fight those. Look at my scam baiting videos. It's so easy to find these, and it's so obvious that those are scammers. But no, now you have a terrible complicated system where any legit parter has a harder and harder time to use. All your agents are still flooded with scam reports and problems, but they cannot handle it because they're not allowed to, and scammers are just adapting and scamming like always. Good job, Valve. Whew. Neon, breathing. Will this kill trading? Will your knife be $1 tomorrow? Should you sell your items for 10% buff price? Obviously not. Prices might go down temporarily because people are panicking and don't know what is happening. But as with the 7-day trade hold in 2018, they will most likely go up when everybody has adapted and is realizing, yo, it's just not now that we pay and it's 7 days until we can retrade the item. It's now 7 days until we get the item. Will this remove any bad actors from skins like scammers, gambling, money laundering, whatever? Hell no! Will this annoy any legit and trusted party in the scene? Fuck yeah.